Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Super Breakdown. Today we're looking at the RX-79G SW Slave Wraith, piloted by Travis Kirkland. Slave Wraith is an amazing range suit. It is another DLC suit, so you unfortunately will have to pay $5 for it, but I will make a case whether or not you should, I believe, based on what it has to offer. When it comes to range, the Slave Wraith has a ton of great ranged options. You have your basic shot. Charge gives you the bazooka. You have the chain gun. Pretty nice, you know, does decent damage. Recharges pretty quickly, honestly. And has no real tracking to it, but you can fire it in an arc like that, which is very nice. You have the missiles, which are insane. They're so good. You also have a dedicated stun on right trigger that can stun more people as well. You're able to stun a group of enemies with it. Very nice. One of the few stuns in the game, like the sumos, that are able to stun multiple enemies at once. As you can see there, the missiles have tracking on them. Very, very nice. And the striker also fires the missile. Pairing all this together obviously gives you quite a bit of options. And allows you to really put the hurt on somebody before you've even got to them, really. Just keeping them at range, keeping them away. As you can see, we've basically already gotten... We've gotten over half cost, but we've basically already gotten the match just using these because of how well it all combos together. It is a very good ranged suit. And then, because you can also charge on the rifle, you can get the bazooka without ever firing a regular shot if you don't want to fire it. Of course, you can still fire it. That also goes for melee. You can charge it with your basic shot there while you're performing a melee without having to fire, which is nice. And we will finish him off here. And then next round we will show off the melee that the suit has and the burst. Because I wanted to show just how good the range is on this suit here. And we're pretty much just dominating him. Too early. Before he even gets a chance to go in. Now, of course, we get to the second round. We get into the cons of the suit a little bit with the melee. Although there's still a pro there as well. And we get into the question, should you use, and in this case, should you purchase the Slave Wraith? Honestly, I think it's worth it. I think it has a great range kit. I think that for its cost, it is very powerful. And I think that were it not for the kind of lackluster 3 of its 4 melee options, I think it would be one of the best suits in the game when it comes to ranged, mid-range that is, and short range. But we'll show off back melee here, which has almost no reach whatsoever, and is just a pop-up, cannot be comboed off of unless you sidestep, which is unfortunate. You have side melee, which is pretty good, you know, good 2-hit combo, lets you spin out of the way as you do so. You have standard melee, it's pretty decent, you know, 3-hit combo, not too bad. The winner, though, is forward melee, which is a stun and a 2-hit combo, so you get a dedicated stun, not just in the shot, but also in the melee, and as you saw there, they can stack, which is very nice. Allows you to keep them locked down pretty well. Honestly think it's a little too good for a 300 in some cases. I think it probably should have been a 400 with what all it can do, even though its health is a little low. All that said, though, there are still some drawbacks. It's very heavily ammo reliant on the missiles and on the stun. Having the melee stun helps as well, but if you are playing the range game and not letting them get in, you are very much dependent on your ammo to be able to stop them. They're all physical projectiles except for the beam, which means that they can be stopped by other physical projectiles, but they can also stop other physical projectiles, which is nice. And then we'll show off the burst. It is a melee burst, but it is a very cool melee burst. I do kind of wish it had a range burst so that it could be one of, like, for sure, the best suits at mid-range. Because then you can hit just about no matter where you were. The long-range game is a little weak. There's not much you have that'll hit at yellow locks. For instance, mainly just the missiles, and even then they have to not move. But I think for mid-range, the Slave Wraith is one of the best suits in this game. And definitely worth $5. As long as you are not against spending money in the game with how dead the multiplayer is now. With all that said, though, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that the slave Wraith has to offer.